Have you ever experienced the phrase, you get what you pay for? If so, you already know that regret is the worst thing that you can ever live with. And in this video, I want to share with you 7 things you should never skimp on, because if you do, not only will you regret it, but it can actually cost you your life. Number 1, memories with those that matter most. You hear the phrase that tomorrow is not promised, and we say that often, but really we don't show that in our actions when it comes to us spending time and spending money and resources on memories with those that matter the most to us. Because if you really think about tomorrow is not promised, and you really think about how much somebody matters to you, money is something you can get over and over again, but time and memories and relationships are things that you might only get a shot at one time. And so when it comes to spending memories with those that matter the most to you, that's one thing you should never skimp on, because even when you think about people in your life that are no longer here, it's like, had you had one more chance to create a phenomenal memory with them that is going to last much longer than the money you spend on it, or it's going to cause you to feel a fulfillment in your heart even though they're not here, because you had this one experience with them that you shared and that person shared that could never be replaced with anything in the world. And as you know, there are a lot of things that you and I can regret in this life, but when it comes to spending time and creating memories with those that matter the most to you, when you look back, you're never going to regret that, even though you might regret not creating those memories. Number 2, accelerating your knowledge. Sometimes people are very cheap and they think that if I can learn this on my own, if I can do this on my own, if I can go figure this out on my own, then I'm going to save money. What they don't realize is time is the one thing that you can never get back. So even if you have to pay somebody to learn something that you don't currently know, in all actuality, you're probably saving yourself more money because you're accelerating the time. Because you think about this, if it takes you 2 or 3 years to learn something that you can actually learn by paying somebody else, even if it's $5,000. If you pay somebody else $5,000 and you can learn something in 3 months versus going at it by yourself and it takes you 2 years to learn, it's like when you think about if you worked at a part-time job, it's fair to say that if you only got paid $5,000 in a year and a half or 2 years because you worked at a part-time job, you would probably quit a whole lot earlier than that time expiration. So when you think about it from that perspective, you paying somebody $5,000 to learn something in 3 months, it actually gives you probably a year and a half head start. And when you think about a year and a half, if you can save a year and a half of your life and dedicate that year and a half of your life to something else, even when it comes to the people that you love, if you spend another year and a half with somebody that you love for $5,000, isn't that worth it? And so often people don't accelerate their knowledge and their education because they want to save, and they don't realize that really they're not saving at all. It's actually costing them not just money, but it's costing them time, and it's costing them opportunity costs. And there's so many costs within costs that we're not even aware of. And so a lot of people, they think that they're doing themselves a disservice. Like, I would never pay somebody to do that, or I would never, and it's like what they fail to understand is that they're robbing themselves of the most valuable asset that they have, which is their time. And they're also robbing themselves of the opportunity to experience somebody else's gift at the highest level. Because you and I both have gifts that other people don't have, and they have gifts that we don't have. And it's like all of our gifts are here to serve one another on some kind of level. And so when we rob people of the opportunity and the chance for them to serve us with their gift, guess what? The same thing might happen on the other end when it comes to us serving others with our gift. Because a lot of times what goes around comes around. And if you're somebody who's cheap, I'm gonna just figure this out on my own, guess what? You're going to attract people that are just like you. But if you're somebody who you understand the importance of paying for knowledge because it actually accelerates your learning curve and it gets you to where you want to go faster, then you're going to also attract those kind of people. So you think about this. If you are on a trip and you're so excited to see your family on the other side, your friends on the other side, like all of these people that truly love you on the other side, and you have a chance to fly in a private jet, and let's say this private jet, it costs you $600, and you only have 2 modes of transportation. You can either ride on a private jet for $600, or you can rent a moped. And the gas for that moped is only going to cost you $50 to get to wherever you're going, but the private jet is going to get you there in about an hour and a half, but that moped is probably going to take 2 days. When you think about 2 days with those that matter most to you, what kind of dollar figure do you really think that that's worth? Do you think it's worth $600? Do you think it's worth more than that? And if you really think about the people that matter most to you who are no longer here, what you would give right now to spend just one more day with them. How much is that worth to you? And when you think about it from that perspective, $600 is nothing. But so often, what people would do is they're like, you know what? I'm going to save this money. I'm going to go get that moped. Yeah, I know it's going to take me 2 days, but it's okay. And they're robbing themselves of the unknown that they don't know that they're going to face one day, which is going to lead to regret. So when you think about people that are willing to pay to accelerate their knowledge and accelerate their learning, what it does is it gets them wherever they want to go faster. So wherever you are compared to where you want to be, it just helps you to get to where you want to be faster. And it's like if you had a chance to experience something at the highest level, how long do you want to experience that for? And if you really enjoy it, the answer should be as long as possible. And that's exactly what accelerating your knowledge gets you to be able to do. It gets you to the level where you can experience fulfillment, fun, joy, happiness, peace, all at the highest level for a lot longer because you paid somebody to help you get you there faster, or you pay for a resource to help you get there faster versus you trying to figure something out and learn something on your own. And then here's the reality. Even when you rely on your own knowledge and you get to wherever you think is going to take you, you still don't know if you did it right because that's not your area of expertise. Number 3, warranties and insurance. Recently, or a couple of years ago, I bought a car and I bought a warranty with it, and typically, I typically wouldn't even buy a warranty with it, but this time I bought a warranty with it. And one of the mistakes that I made is I didn't get the best warranty. I got a really good warranty, but I didn't get the best warranty. And the best warranty and the warranty that I got, the difference was maybe like $500. Now, at the time, that seemed like it wasn't worth how much it cost. However, in a year and a half, the difference between me buying the best warranty and the warranty that I got was about $8,000. So I could have spent $500, but I ended up spending $8,000 just because of the warranty that I got. So that's one thing that I learned, that going forward, if you're going to buy a warranty, do not skimp on the warranty. Get the best warranty that there is. I'm not saying get the most expensive, but get the best. Because sometimes the most expensive does not equate to the best, and sometimes the best doesn't equate to the most expensive. But I'm saying read the fine print and get the best. You don't want to skimp on that. And the same thing with insurance. A lot of times people don't understand that when you get like cheap insurance, it's almost like having no insurance whatsoever. So when it comes to insurance and when it comes to warranties, it's best for you to get the best insurance possible because it's worth the peace of mind that you get knowing that if something happens, you're covered all the way around. Because so often people don't realize that they're riding liabilities, meaning that they're driving cars that's not insured. They think it's insured, but it's really not. And sometimes people fail to understand what they really have because people on the other side, it's not their job to really explain to you what you're buying because they're just selling you what it is that they think you want, and you want what's the cheapest. And sometimes what's the cheapest will put you at the most risk. And so when it comes to warranties and insurance, you want to make sure that you never skimp on those things because it can end up costing you a whole lot more, just like it did me. Number 4, your health. Now, when I'm saying health, I'm talking about like your sleep, I'm talking about your diet, I'm talking about you exercising, and I'm talking about your mental health as well. And I'll tell you one thing that's really, really critical that a lot of people, they have this badge of honor of like grinding. Like they stay up late and they get up early and they don't realize that over time, that's making them look a lot older than what they are. It's wearing their body down and it's not causing them to really operate in a flow state to really get what's rightfully theirs. Because a lot of times what we fail to understand is that sometimes when we work higher instead of harder, things flow to us and things come to us a lot easier than it would if we're just trying to grind and make something happen. Because you think about this, if you're trying to put some kind of square in a peg hole and you're trying to force it there, sometimes that's proof that what you're forcing does not fit there. And so often we might try to force and we might try to grind, and we have to force and grind because what we're doing does not fit into what it is that we're actually doing. And we just take a step back and prioritize what's really important to us and what we're supposed to be doing and who we're actually called to help and what does that look like for us. It causes us to change things because so often people model on the internet what they see somebody else do. And it's like this person does not have the same morals, values, standards, family dynamics that you have. And one of the worst things that people can do is build their version of somebody else's business. And that's never something that ever leads to success, no matter how much money somebody obtains. And that's not really good for mental health, emotional health, or financial health. So health is one of those things that's really important to never skimp on when it comes to any aspect in any area of it, because no matter what area of health that you neglect, it's going to cause a ripple effect in all areas of health. So if people don't get their sleep, that's probably going to impact their money. And if people don't eat right, that's probably going to impact their attitude, you know. And obviously, if people don't exercise, that's also going to impact them in different ways as well. So when it comes to health, health is one of those things that you should never scrimp on, because it's never worth you not investing, because what you don't pay up front, you're going to pay a whole lot more on the back end. Number 5, safety and security. Now, this is something that's really big for me, and I can give you several examples, but I'm just going to give you one. So there was a time where I needed a new tire. And I wanted to just get the cheapest tire possible because I wasn't thinking about safety. And I remember I had this tire, and this tire was bald as I am right now. Like, it just didn't have any tread on it whatsoever, but it was better than not having any tire at all because I had a flat. And what happened was, about 3 weeks later, the same tire that I just bought, it ended up blowing out. And so this tire that I bought was dangerous because it didn't have any tread on it. And here's what happened. That tire, believe it or not, and this was some years ago, but that tire cost about $15. Now, I could have got a really good tire for about $50. But I went for the $15 tire. So the $15 tire, not only did it put me at risk and it put me in danger, but it blew out and it messed up my tie rod on my car. If you don't know about that, it's fine. But that tie rod cost me about $400. So I want you to think about something. I could have spent $15 or $35 more dollars on a better tire. So just $50 altogether on a better tire. But because I didn't spend $50, I ended up paying $400 on the back end. And it wasn't safe. And so when it comes to like safety and security, it's best for you to never skimp on that, because it's never worth the risk that's even unknown to you, because there are some things that you don't even know what you're at risk for. You don't even know what danger you're in. And it's best to just do whatever you can to make yourself as safe as possible. Now, I will say this. I'm not somebody who's paranoid and I'm skeptic of every single thing. However, I understand that we live in a crazy world. Like, things happen all the time, and things that we never thought would happen, now it's happening on a common and regular basis. So things are already happening around us that is just unexplainably crazy to some extent in some areas. And when you think about it from that perspective, we don't want to give that opportunity any increased chance of it happening to us. And so the best way for us to do that is to not skimp on safety and security, and paying whatever we can to ensure that our safety and our security is well taken care of, and it gives us a peace of mind to help us actually enjoy whatever we're doing on the other side of it. Number 6, hiring for your weakness. So when you were in school, and let's say you get all A's in most of your classes, but you might get a D in this one class. What you were instructed to do is to neglect all of the focus on the A's and put all of your attention on the D subject, so you can actually raise that grade up. And they encourage you to strengthen your weaknesses. However, when you get into the real world, one of the best things that you can do is to keep your focus on your strengths and keep up leveling your strengths so you can get to mastery level, instead of neglecting your strengths and then focusing on your weaknesses and then trying to balance them out. Because when you become balanced in all areas, now you become average. Nobody pays anybody high prices for average. Now you become somebody who's common, where nobody wants to hire you, nobody wants to pay you if you have a business, and then it starts to cause you to suffer, not just financially, but in all other areas of your health as well, because you decided to neglect your strength and focus on your weakness instead of hiring for your weaknesses. And one of the best things that we can do is honor somebody else's strength in their area of genius. Just like one of the best things that people can do for us is hire us in our area of genius and our strength. Because when you actually hire for your weakness, it actually causes you to save time, and it causes you to experience more of what's important to you. It causes you to have more time for people that matter the most to you. Because when you think about your strength versus your weakness, it takes you a lot more time to get something accomplished when it's your weakness versus when it's your strength. And so when we focus on hiring for our strength, it just helps us to get to wherever we want to be faster. It causes us to be overall better. And whatever we're hiring them to do, it helps us to show up overall just much better than we would have had we tried to do it ourselves, whatever their strength is. And so I really encourage people all the time, when you can, because it might not be possible for every single person, but when it's possible for you, I really encourage you to hire out your weaknesses instead of trying to improve in that area. Like, Most people are not remembered for anything. They're not known for anything because they have not mastered anything. And so I want to encourage you, even if you have a job, whether you have a job or a business, get great at whatever it is that you do. Focus more on your strength and get to a level of mastery with your strength, because even if you get to a level of mastery with your strength, yes, you might have certain weaknesses, but now you can partner with people at a much higher level that are good at what you're not good at, and you can complement them in areas where they're not good at, and now you start to form like a mastery network of people that are operating at a much higher level than everybody else who's trying to strengthen their weaknesses instead of hiring out their weaknesses so that they can actually enjoy life better and get to wherever they want to go a lot faster. Number 7, investing. When it comes to investing, the first and foremost thing that I highly recommend is to never invest in things that you don't understand. No matter how great it sounds, no matter how much the promise of the reward on the other side, you're going to get $1 billion with just a $10 invested, never invest in anything that you do not understand. So that's first and foremost. However, when you do understand certain things and it has the promise of a great return, I'm not saying just throw the farm at it, but what I'm saying is make it worth it. So when you invest in something that can yield you a great return later on in life, it's like, think about you answering a call from your future self later on down the line. And it's like when you answer that call, when you pick up the phone and you're talking to your younger self, it's like, is that call one of pain or one of pleasure? Are they proud of you, or they wish you would have did something different? And when it comes to investing, sometimes people focus on diversification so much that it becomes a watered down attempt at getting something that they will never have. And when it comes to things that you understand, you wanna make sure that your investment is more concentrated. I'm not saying to not diversify. However, I'm saying that you want to focus in such a way that when you invest in something, that you actually get a return that excites you later on. Now again, you want to be wise with it, but so often people, they might have $100 and they might invest in 100 different things and invest $1 on 100 different things. And if you think about this, if you doubled your money in 2 of those things, congratulations, you now have $4. But if you only invest in 2 things and then you doubled your money, you feel a lot more excited about that than you do if you only invested $1 in something, because you spread yourself so thin. And so when it comes to investing, that's something that I think is very, very important to not skimp in, especially when you understand it, because that is the key. Because when you understand something, it's something you believe in, maybe something that you run on a regular basis or something that you use every day, that's proof and that's evident that you believe in whatever this is. And there's so many different investments, and I can't cover all of them obviously in this video, but when it comes to things that you feel strongly about, I encourage you to go all in. I'm not saying throw the farm at it, but I'm saying invest enough money or in enough time, because sometimes all investments are not financial investments. They could be time investments. But what I'm saying, either way, when it comes to investing, invest enough that when you get a return, it's going to excite you. It's going to be worth it. It's going to cause you to thank yourself for making a choice that we both benefit from later on in life. Because if you don't, then it goes right back to point number 1, which is leading to regret. And that's one of the worst things you can ever live with. Now, if there's anything that you skimped on that maybe I didn't even cover on the other side, let me know in the comments below of like, what did you skimp on, and what do you wish you would have done, differently? And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing and share this video with somebody who you think can benefit from it.